Hello, it is Thursday, April 4th, 2019. I am your host, Iggy, and you have tuned in to the New School Baseball Podcast. Tonight, I don't know, we talk about Kevin Pillar. We talk about the scores of the past couple days, upcoming games today, and a little bit more. All that and more coming up right here in episode 3 of the New School Baseball Podcast. Leading off with scores from last night's game, last night's game, we had Bryce Harper in his return to Washington. The Phillies played the Nationals and ended up losing 9-8. Sean Doolittle recording the win for his second win on the season there. The Twins played the Royals to wrap up that series, and the Twins beat the Royals 7-6. Detroit played the Yankees, and the Tigers won. Surprisingly, the powerhouse Yankees not living up to everything they hoped for. To touch on the Yankees, actually, yesterday, Troy Tulowitzki placed on the 10-day IL, the injured list, with a calf strain. So there's that bit of fun news as I change my game on MLB TV to catch up on the end of the Washington and New York Met game. Getting back to Tulowitzki, 10-day IL with a calf strain. This is also coming from the gentleman who said, and I quote, "They, being the Blue Jays, basically told me I couldn't play anymore, because you can't, apparently. After coming back from 2 years where you barely played, now you got injured 5 games into the season. You gotta look at something here, Troy. Just gonna put that out there, you dusty old fuck." Moving on to the Jays and Orioles. The Jays finished off the series with the Orioles. Matt Schumacher recording his second win of the season. Ken Giles getting his second save. 100 Miles Giles, believe, has an MLB record for 33 consecutive saves. Double check me on that one. If you know, leave it down in the comments below as I smack the table. The Boston Red Sox beat the Athletics 6-3. The Brewers beat the Reds 1-0. The White Sox beat the Indians 8-3. And the Rockies beat the Rays 1-rip in 11 innings. Nothing too crazy there. The Padres beat the Arizona Diamondbacks 4-1. The Mets beat the Marlins 6-4. And, of course, the Cardinals beat the Pirates 5-4. But that one took some extra innings. We got 1 inning of free baseball there. The Cubs lost to the Braves 6-4. And the Rangers beat the Astros 4-0. Oh, one more game. Sorry, didn't see that one there. The Giants and the Dodgers squared off for the late game. Kevin Pillar's first game in a Giants uniform. And unfortunately, the Giants did lose to the Dodgers 5-4. Currently, today's game so far, as it stands, we're in the top of the ninth. Washington leads the Mets 2-0, and the Baltimore Orioles are beating the Yankees 3-1. As I said earlier, the game against the Tigers and the Royals just wrapped up 5-4 for that game. Detroit beat the Royals. The Royals did leave a man on base with a runner at single as Whit Merrifield grounded out to second to end the game. Pardon me. So, games coming up and games still in action currently. Like I said, Nationals at the Mets there for the Mets home opener. Nationals currently rooting the day for the Mets 2-0. The Yankees, of course, losing to Baltimore 3-1. That's at the bottom of the third. The Boston Red Sox are up 2-0 on the Oakland Athletics. That's the top of the second. As it stands currently at the time of recording, I will update you periodically throughout the recording, just to give you a little heads up, because that's what I do. And moving on, we'll be moving on into a couple different things here. Of course, keep an eye out. I will have the special edition Prospects Top 100 listings there. That'll be coming up later up. So diving into some opinion right now, we'll be talking. I touched on it briefly. With Troy Tulowitzki and people talking shit when they shouldn't be talking shit. Listen, I like Troy Tulowitzki as a player. I'm actually very upset that J.P. Riccardi passed on drafting him. The Blue Jays could have had him. It could have been great. Did he have a fantastic career with Colorado? Absolutely, he did. He absolutely had a fantastic career. But, pardon me. Now, call me crazy. Maybe that's where he should have stayed. And I only say that because of the fact that he had gaudy numbers, just unbelievable numbers when he was with Colorado. He came to Toronto. He had one good year, and he was perpetually injured after that. He had a bone spur in his heel, and he battled with that. Danced on the injured. Sorry, at the time it was the disabled list. Now it's the injured list. Danced with the injured list for a couple months, and then they shut him down for the season. He comes back. He's healthy. He's great. And then Ryan Goins playing left field calls him off. He doesn't move on a pop-up to short left field. They collide. He takes 2 steps and then falls to the ground like a tree that got cut down. And he's had a back issue ever since. That shut him down for the year, more or less. Then he gets traded because he hasn't played. He played 1 out of 3 years. And then he runs his mouth after he hits a home run. Sure. Yeah, when someone's realistic. I'm not going to lie to you folks. I'm a tanned-skinned fellow. I occasionally call myself that one brown guy because it seems like I'm the only brown guy in my group of friends. If someone was to come up and tell me that, hey, you're a good-looking tanned gentleman, and they're just telling me the truth, I'm not going to call them full of shit. I'm not going to say, you got a bass backwards, buddy. I'm white. I mean, I'm not going to say that. I'm just not. That's just the truth. So if an organization tells you can't play the way you're playing anymore, why would you argue that? Either make the adjustments or get the fuck out. You didn't want to make the adjustments, so they traded you. They got you the fuck out. Then you run your mouth, and then you get injured 5 days in. Give your head a shake. Obviously, you can't play the position the same way anymore. It bugs me. It bugs me to the point of no return that, open your fucking eyes. Obviously, you can't play the same way you've been playing when you're 20. As you get older, that's just a fact. As you get older, you become less agile, less mobile. It's just facts. When I was fucking 16 years old, I used to take my bike off 13-foot jumps, dirt jumps. Sometimes I'd wipe out, just crazily gnarly wipeouts. Was I wearing a helmet? If it was on a course, yeah. If it was just me and my buddies, we were just on trails. What happened? I crash, I roll, I get dinged up, a couple cuts, maybe some bruises. I get the fuck back on the bike and I keep going. Could I do that now at 24? Probably. Would I hurt for a couple days after? Probably. It's just one of those things. As you get older, it age and time takes its effect on the body. It's how it works. So to say that you can't play the same way as you're 20, absolute fact. If you're a 30 whatever year old guy, however old you are, Troy Tulowitzki, and I hope, I doubt it's gonna happen, but I hope someone somewhere clips this and just sends it to him, and so he can get his fucking head around the fact that people loved you in Toronto. They did. But the fact of the matter is, you're not 20 years old anymore. You're not playing in Colorado. You can't play the same way like you were playing when you were 20. So fucking figure it out. You're a good baseball player. You should be able to figure it out. It just bugs me. It bugs me so much. Moving on to other things that bug me. For those of you who don't know, of course, I've coached Little League ball. I'm a player coach for a senior men's league in Winnipeg, Manitoba. And I umpire for Baseball Manitoba. If anyone was watching the Houston Astros Texas Rangers game last night, oh my God, do you know where I'm gonna go? So somewhere in the MLB, umpires believe that they got it all under wraps. It's their show. People pay tickets to come see them call a game, and that's how it goes. Texas Rangers got a call. It was middle. Called a ball. Okay. Yeah, it was early in the game. I think it was the second inning. Yeah, sure, you're having an off night. And you're going to hear some chirping because of that, naturally. Like, if you miss a middle pitch and you say, no, that's a ball, yeah, even I know you're going to get some chirping for that one. Just how it goes down. The next inning, I believe, was the third. Ball's a little low. It's not terribly low, but it's maybe 2 inches below the knee on the batter. So, is it low? Yes. Is it egregious? Was it bouncing? No. But a low strike call. A low strike call was called on the Astros. And someone, let's see if I can find out who it was. Alex Cintron? I have no clue if that is a correct pronunciation. But that's how I'm going to go with it. He is a hitting coach for the Houston Astros. And he obviously said something that the umpire, Mr. Ron Kulpa? Capula? Fucking, I don't know. Fucking play dumb. You can look it up. Kulpa? Kulpa? Sure, Kulpa. He said something, and immediately the plate umpire, who's the crew chief, rips the mask off and just starts looking into the dugout. Says something. AJ Hinch, the skip, the manager, comes out trying to defuse it. And then, whatever, something else was said. The hitting coach gets tossed immediately. AJ comes back out trying to defuse it, just being like, hey, like, you get why he called it, why he's talking some shit, but like, let's just keep her going here. And everything kind of goes over. Pursuing that though, Kulpa just keeps staring at the Astros dugout. At this point, the Texas pitcher has their foot on the rubber and is getting ready to deliver a pitch when AJ Hinch goes, "What the fuck are you doing? Stop looking at us. Look out to the pitcher. There's a pitch incoming." And then, boom, Hinch gets tossed. Whatever was said, Hinch says something like along the lines of, "You can't do that." And this is the line that I love. "I can do whatever I want," is what was appeared to have been said from Kulpa to AJ Hinch. This is the most ridiculous fucking thing since Angel Hernandez became an umpire. Like, this is just, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, you might have a bad night at the dish. Every umpire has it. Shit, players have them. It happens to umpires too. This is just a thing that happens. Not everyone is perfect. And I am clipping my mic right now. Sorry. I will back up a little bit. Not everyone is perfect. It's just a fact of the matter. So the fact that you can say, I can do whatever I want, one, is false, because you're not, if you're religious, you're not God. Two, you're not, this was in the United States, the President of the United States, who still can't do whatever he wants, as we've found out, anyone who pays attention to news. You're not a supreme leader. You're not an alien. You're not anything. You're an umpire. Act like a professional. You're getting paid to do a job. Do a job. If you have a bad night, sure, you have a bad night. I'm in sales. If I have a bad sales day, yeah, it hurts. I see it on my paycheck. But guess what? I have a bad day. I accept it and I move on. That's what you need to do as a professional. You have to accept the fact that, hey, maybe today wasn't the day. Time to move on with your life. Simple. Done. End of story. But no, this guy, Ron Kulpa, yeah, he just, it's ridiculous. Like, no one's paying to see you. Do your fucking job so the players can play the game, the fans can be happy, and life goes on. Don't hold, it's hard. And I will say, it is hard when you have a coach that's beaking off, but he's dancing in that line of he can't really say anything. Like, he's not really saying anything to you. He's not saying anything that you find completely irrational. but he's just, it's just the little subtle shots. But fuck, that's what a warning's for. That's what a warning's for. If I was having a bad night at the dish like he was, I missed that middle pitch, and then the following half inning, I missed that low, that I called that low one, and someone goes, "That's not a strike." What I do looked like a strike to me. If you want to come out and argue it, you're gonna get tossed though, and then I go back to it. There's not an official warning. I'm just informing them that if they're coming out to argue balls and strikes, they're immediately going to get tossed because you can't do that. You cannot do that. 100% a fact. Every time you do that, you're going to get tossed. I will bet my house that I don't own. I will bet it on the fact that if you go out to an umpire to argue balls and strikes, you will get tossed. 100% of the time. Can confirm. So, you throw that little shot in there. They could say, "Oh, it's a bullshit call." Yeah, if in your eyes, but you're not behind the dish. Done. Also, coach, that's a warning. Done. Right there. Shuts him up. Because you know why? The next thing out of his mouth that you don't like, see you later. And he knows it. They or she, if you're coaching minor league ball, sometimes you have female coaches. All the power to them. But there's a way to handle that. Also, if you really have an issue with someone, call fucking time. Jesus Christ, the pitcher's getting ready to pitch a ball at where you're standing. You're behind the catcher with your head cocked to the left, staring into a dugout, and a pitch is coming in. One, not only for your own safety, if that ball gets fouled straight back, we've seen umpires go down with it just hitting the mask. Now imagine, you're not wearing the goalie style helmet, you're wearing a standard old school style mask. You crank your head to the left to stare at a dugout from the home plate, as I'm doing right now that you can't see, and that goes straight back, hits you in the neck, it's going to hit you in the jugular, or the pulmonary artery. I think it's the jugular on the right side. I'm not 100% sure. Not an anatomy major. I did sales, let's be real. But you're dead. You're done. Game over. Also, you just missed that pitch, because if it doesn't get fouled back and it's just a catch, boom, you don't know where it is. It could have bounced. It could have been inside, outside, high, low. You don't know. Now, what are you going to call that pitch? Oh, I missed that one. You can't do that. You have to be a professional. And if the MLB doesn't figure out a way to get with the umpires union and suspend him, or at least send him down to AAA, AA, work those games for a bit. Figure it out. Get your head right. Come back. But this is absolutely ridiculous. And the fact that nothing will probably be done because the umpires union has their head so far up their own ass that anytime that baseball says anything, the commissioner comes down and says anything, it's, well, then we're going to strike. That's the first thing that happens. The first thing. And it's absolutely god-awful. And it's atrocious. It's egregious. It's the things that, it's what's happening in politics right now. Oh, we don't like what you did, so we're just going to dig into our side more. No. How about you talk to each other, figure out a reasonable compromise that you can both agree on, and in the meantime, I'm not saying let this guy not have work. He's had a bad night, obviously, but don't have him work in the majors. Have him work in AAA Buffalo. Have him do, AAA Fresno. Do AAA for a bit. Figure it out. Get yourself together while they figure it out. Still work. Still get paid. Just not on games that actually mean something. And now there's the argument of, well, does Game 6 of the regular season really mean anything? It can. We don't know how the regular season's going to go. We don't know how the rest of the season's going to go. So as it stands right now, every game matters. 100% of the time. And the fact that we have umpires like Angel Hernandez and Ron Kulpa, for whatever the fucking reason, think that the show is about them? No, you're not Joe West. Sit the fuck down. No one cares. No one cares. It's infuriating. It's absolutely infuriating. But that's enough of that. Wait a minute. There's more to this story. Apparently, the Astros' issues with the umpire continued, and Houston, their starter Garrett Cole got into an argument I'll touch on that in a couple seconds. I need to get some water here. My voice is going. All right. So as I saw the updated bit later on in the game, I believe it was the what inning was it? Ooh, I don't need that copyright claim on me. Later on in the game, Kulpa is the name of the umpire. I got the pronunciation there. He also got into it with Garrett Cole, of all people, the pitcher. So this is what happens. It is the bottom of bottom of three. Sorry, Garrett Cole is coming off as the inning ends, and he knows he's fighting an uphill battle against an ump that is just out to get him. So he wants to say something, he doesn't. Kulpa then beaks off at him from the Rangers side foul line. Okay, so he turns, says what, and then the catcher, I don't have his name, gets up in between his face and just, kind of diffuses the situation, which is great. But then Kulpa does a thing which is kind of, you can do it with your buddies, but like you don't do it like, when you punch your buddy in the shoulder, and you're just like, yeah, you fucking idiot, and you punch him in the shoulder, but you're not fucking decking the guy, right? So you can do that as an umpire too. Like when you're talking to a catcher, if you have your mask in your hand, you kind of just smack him on the chest protector. Good job, smack. All right, off you go. It's like punching your buddy in the shoulder. So he kind of does that, but he kind of just shoves him with his mask at the end of the inning. Like, what the fuck? How is there not a disciplinary action issued on this? Like, it's absolutely mind-blowing, the fact that you have a guy who's clearly out to get the Astros. Like, clearly has something in his head now that he's had a couple bad calls. They've let him know that they were shit calls, like they would, like anyone would. Any team will let him know, hey, you fucked us on 2 calls. We're going to let you hear about it. Maybe that will hopefully fucking get your head on right. No, apparently not. Like, this is the thing. And this is what's driving me absolutely insane, is that there's not going to be anything there. The Astros can't say anything, because if they say anything, they're getting fined. That's just the way it goes. They're going to get a huge fucking fine for shit-talking the umps and not having respect for the game, when this guy's out here telling people to fuck off, telling people that he can do whatever he wants, and, starting shit with pitchers just because he thinks he can. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. And I honestly, I don't see it, I'm just trying to think of a way to word this that's not, I can't. I don't see a fucking way that this doesn't continue on with the current way that the power structure is set up. The umpires union, and I'm saying this as not a professional umpire, but as like a minor league umpire, because I see it along with what I see on in a daily basis. It's such an old boys club. It is such a, we do this way, and if you don't like it, you can fuck off. If any other business ran that way, it wouldn't be a business. That's just the fact of the matter. You have to, there's give and take on every situation. And the MLB and the umpires unions can't figure it out. See you the fuck later. Like, the sport's going to go downhill and downhill fast. And that's not even to start talking about the fact that baseball's already a dying sport in the minor systems because it's such an old boys fucking club. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous. Little update on the scores there. Of course, we told you that the Tigers beat the Royals 5-4 and through 9 innings. The Nationals spoiled the Mets home opener as a 4-0 final through 9 innings. Currently, the Baltimore Orioles are leading 3-1 over the Yankees in the top of the 5th. The bottom of the 5th, and the Athletics have tied it up 3-3 at the bottom of 3 with 1 out, 1 on. Of course, those games might be over by the time this podcast gets uploaded, but I will still do my best to try and pretend like this is a radio show, because someday maybe it will be. Who knows? Some updates about the podcast, actually, a little State of the Union. To thank you guys for sticking with me. I'm going to bore you a little bit now. We might be having some I wouldn't say guest hosts, because that's not a real thing. We will be definitely be having guests on the podcast coming up real soon. My good friend Dan, correction on that. I said he played for the French national team. That's incorrect. He supports baseball in France. He did play in France for a little bit, I believe. That part is true, but not for a French national team. Of course, we'll have him on. I hope to have my friend Mo on as well, a gentleman who played baseball overseas in Japan, as well as my good friend Andre. He is one of the other player coaches. He's the head player coach, the head coach of the team I play for currently. So, quick little update on that. Also, if you folks are enjoying the podcast, you liked it so far, feel free to drop a like. Of course, if you're new and you want to see or hear more of this, feel free to hit subscribe. It's much appreciated. Yeah, I don't really know what else to talk about after that. That umpire thing got me just fired up. Some news from today. Syndergaard had a no-no going into the sixth, and unfortunately, Robles broke it up with a solo shot, just an absolute bomb. That one gone. So there's that. That travels for home opener delayed by late night. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Remaking the top 10 FAs for 2020. We'll touch on that later. Villar wastes no time with a leadoff bomb in the Yankees. That's how that scoring got started today there. So look out for him. If you don't have him on fantasy, maybe today's the day to pick him up. He's going off. He's definitely going off. That's it for about the news so far. We touched on it briefly with Kevin Pillar in the trade. The Jays, same day that they traded Pillar out of the city to San Francisco, signed Randall Grichuk for a 5-year deal. That one controls 3 years of free agency on him. Going into the 2025, 24, 25 season. One of those years. So there's that. Good for Randall Grichuk. He's getting paid bank to stick with the club and kind of help the young core to develop, which is cool to see. I'm interested to see how he's going to be with the Jays in 2-3 years. He's a good player. I mean, of course, yesterday he had the two homer game in that one with the win over the Orioles. Ooh, shoot. Let me double check. And the win over the Orioles, 2 days ago. Of course, the Jays had the off day on the 3rd. So, yeah, there's that. Cleveland heads to town tonight for the Jays, so that'll be a fun watch to see. And we got some later games as well. Of course, if you are ever interested in knowing my dumb opinion, you can follow me on Twitter at Iggy772. Same thing on Instagram. I post some stuff on there sometimes. Yeah, that's going to be it for today's show. Keep an eye out. We do have... we do have a book review, which is going to be interesting. And that's my diet plan. Cool. So that won't be on the podcast, but we will have a book review coming out as well as some other stuff. Of course, recapping the weekend coming up for all the scores, stats, highlights, plays, and more. Of course, contracts and trades we will talk about as well as I will give my dumb opinion on it. Also, I do hope you enjoyed again. Like I said earlier, if you did, again, drop a like, subscribe if you're new. Of course, my name has been Iggy. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and if you prefer more of the rant style podcast, let me know. I might change up my game and go from there. My name has been Iggy. You've been listening to the New School Baseball Podcast right here on the Home Run Kid 72 YouTube channel. Of course, I will see you Tuesday for the next episode 4. Wow, 4 episodes in. It's crazy. All right, guys. I love you guys. Take care. And remember, you can't get dirty if you don't slide.